Hey, what's up, everybody? This is DJ Glowing Ice, and today I'm going to be showing you how to master a song. So I got two tracks here. One is the unmastered version, which you see right here in the yellow, and the mastered version, which I just finished in the green. Now let's listen to the unmastered version and see what that sounds like.
It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. There's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru.
Okay, sounds good, decent, but let's see the difference with it mastered.
It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. There's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru.
So yes, you could definitely tell the quality of the song is very different when it's mastered compared to the unmastered raw mix. And yeah, let's get right into how I did this and how you could do it with your own tracks free as long as you have some type of software like this to work with. So let's get into it. So mastering a song is like the icing on the cake, so to speak, whenever you're done recording your song. You know, you got the idea, you wrote the song, you recorded the song, you got everything panned and all the effects that you want on all your tracks. Now it's time to get the thing ready to be distributed to Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Apple Music, whatever. Yeah, mastering is a very, very important thing. A lot of musicians may just think, oh man, just put it out, whatever. No, you got to take your time and make sure that you get things mastered before you do put it out there, because say you don't master a song, all right? You just release it as you finished it and people buy it. It gets put in a playlist. When they listen to a song from any other, Taylor Swift, whatever, someone that has had their music mastered, they'll go from that song, which is very vibrant, loud, just everything sounds in place. Then they'll go to your song, which isn't mastered and doesn't have all that icing on the cake. It's going to be very quiet. Now, it may not be a bad song, it may not be horrible, but it's going to be very quiet. Now, does mastering mean you just turn up the volume on everything and make things louder? No. There is a little bit of fine-tuning that you just have to do, and if you're lost, you don't have money to spend on pay this guy $500 to do your album or whatever and master it all. I've done that before, paid people on Fiverr. Or you could use one of those automated mastering services. I've used that too, and both ones, they don't have the touch that I really like. Whether you pay somebody on Fiverr, it's going to come back to you and you're going to be like, yeah, I wish you would have did this with it, done that. The second Glowing Ice album, Sunshine Fun Time, I paid a guy from Fiverr to master all the tracks for that, because at the time I didn't know how to master. And yeah, they came back. Some of them I was like, this needs to be louder. So I had to go in and kind of tinker around with it myself. But anyways, all that being said, if you are looking for a way to master things yourself as a musician, talking to you, who's probably a musician as well, let me just be your buddy and tell you how you can skip all that paying somebody and just do it yourself. And chances are, if you are recording music, you are using a DAW, which is a digital audio workstation. Now, I use Reason, which is not the most popular DAW out there. I know a lot of people like to use FL Studio or Pro Tools or whatever. I don't know. I just like Reason because it's more... it just feels more real. As a musician that actually recorded stuff with analog tapes, and yeah, I just found Reason to be more of my liking. But any DAW would work, so don't think, oh, I have to have Reason to do this or whatever. So I'm going to stop talking now, and what I have open right here is a session for the song Party in a Taco Bell Drive-Thru, which is a song I'm going to be releasing very soon to platforms. So I figured, hey, why not, as I'm going into mastering this, show everybody else. So All that being said, here we are. This is the session, the unmastered session. So this right here is the instrumental that was mixed down from a prior session, as you could hear right there. Okay, and then here are all my vocal tracks, all kind of chopped up right there. I added an extra little bass thing right there at the very top, this thing. So here's what this sounds like.
Party. Party. Drive through. Party. Taco.
Okay, so like I said, yeah, there you go. It sounds very nice, but it is not complete. So what we will do, this is F5. I'm hitting F5 on my keyboard. That will take me to the master board here, I guess. It shows you all the levels of where everything is.
Drive-through, Taco Bell.
So this will be the first step of mastering, is when you are done with all of it. So what you want to do is take a look at this master, they call it a fader, but you know, it's essentially the volume to everything. Okay.
Menu to the left.
There we go. Okay, so you want to watch your levels right here and make sure they're at like a -6 dB. Between a -8 and a -6 dB. Nothing more than a -6. So we'll kind of just eye it here. Right there is 8.
What should I drink?
So
Hell yeah. There's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru.
alright, you see right there? Alright, that's the sweet spot. That's where you want it. So why are we wanting this level to be so low? Well, when we mix this down into one track and we put it in another session, you will see you need enough room to work with to bring the track up, bring the volume up, and everything else. You will see as we go on, but yeah, when you mix down the unfinished, unpolished, unmastered mix, give the person, which is you, or maybe someone else who is mastering your track, enough room to play with to actually bring out things within the song to make it sound the best it can be. So what we'll do here, check out, okay, it ends right there. That's kind of how I want it. Now we will export the song, just mix it down now. Okay, so now that that's mixed down, let's start a whole new session. So what you want to do, this is what it'll look like right when you fire up a new session on Reason. I'm just going to delete all of this. Boom. Okay, so now we have just this empty section right here. First thing you want to do, we'll hit F7. That'll take us to our multi-tracker, or they call it the sequencer, whatever you want to say. And we will import the song that we just mixed down in the prior session. And here we are. All right. As you'll see, every single time when you load a new thing into Reason, an audio track, it's going to put it at 120 beats per minute. Let's bring it up to 30, and then just for safe keeping, disable the stretch. And there we are with the natural timing of the song. Alright, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to click on this master section and right click and put in 4 different effects. So we're going to have to go to an M-class compressor, put one of those in. And I'm sure a lot of other DAWs have the same thing. So just find the same similar effects as you do see here in Reason. Go to Reason Studios, put in an equalizer. I usually put this one on top. The next thing is a maximizer. And the final thing we are going to put in here is a stereo imager, which I really thought at the very beginning never did too much of anything, but oh yes, it makes a whole lot of difference. Alright, so let's play the track. Alright, so you see everything in here dancing, working well. Let's enable all of the stuff here on the equalizer, because that's where we will be starting first. Alright, so the equalizer. what we are trying to do with the equalizer is you see this line right here, okay? Now the highs, the lows, everything in the track will be bouncing through here. What you want it to do is clear out some of the muddiness, and usually clearing out the muddiness is somewhere around there to make the track more crisp, clearer. And if it's too boomy with the bass, this is what you could do to help polish it out and make everything level. It's an equalizer. It equalizes everything out in the song, so nothing's too tinny or too bassy. It's just perfect all along with all the instruments working together as one and sounding fluid. So let's work with that now. See, that's too big, too bassy.
Taco Bell drive-through Friday night.
But since this is a party song, we could kind of always just maybe somewhat of a boomy sound. So you take the parametric param 1, bring it down a little bit. This is the bass part. This is more the high part. Kind of makes sense there.
Menu to the left.
It's a little too much,
right.
but
looking at the menu.
see.
What should I drink? Hell yeah, cherry Pepsi. All of a sudden,
There we go.
everybody
All right. Now let's take out some of the muddiness in it.
bump bass. Front, behind, and all over the place. Burritos, chalupas, cinnamon
See, you hear that? It kind of sounds like it's coming out of a radio speaker.
twists. Then I go and get some Sierra Mist.
Then it's not. So you don't want to get that. That's a little too much. So you want something that isn't too...
My chick has got
See, that's too muddy. That's too muddy right there.
My chick has got a soft taco supreme. My chick has got a soft taco supreme.
So it's got that kind of flanging effect as you heard me go up there. So,
With extra sour cream.
alright, that sounds about right. You don't want to mess with this too much because all the tracks in itself, they are equalized and, you know, already messed with. So you don't want to really go too crazy with this. But just to really smooth everything out, this is what I would do here. And now let's do just a touch, a slight touch on the high shelf.
It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru.
Maybe not even that
It's
much.
a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru.
Take the bass down a little bit more because it's gonna be booming regardless. As you see here, this top knob will turn this part, this wave up or down, however you want.
There's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. Party.
So it kind of already has a big bass part right here, like a big boomy bass, but there's a secondary bass that you may want more crisp and clearer, so you'll want to take that secondary bass and, wrong one, bring it up a bit more on the spectrum.
Party. Drive-thru. Party.
That's good. You're never really ever done with a mix of a song, that's for sure. Alright, so we got the equalizer pretty much done there. That looks a little too dippy. Let's keep that like that. Okay, so the stereo imager. Right here is the low band, here is the high band, and this is the crossover of both right here. Now you could get very wacky with this. A good rule of thumb when you're messing with stereo imaging is to keep the bass pretty much center. Because you don't want the bass to give off this like full-on stereo on each side. You kind of just want it right in the middle because that's how, if you listen to a lot of rap albums and stuff, the bass drum is always right centered. It's not panned to the left, not panned to the right. It's always right to the center. And that's how I kind of go with this. So you keep it at the original. Don't mess with the low band too much when it comes to the stereo imaging. You can maybe touch it up here, -10, +10, what have you, but how I do it is just always 0. But with this high band, we will get a little funky and we will widen it quite a bit. So I'm going to start at the mono just so you have an idea, and we'll work our way up to the widest part so you get an idea of what stereo imaging is.
Taco Bell party. Party. Drive-thru. Taco Bell party.
So you see right there, it kind of just sounds like it's all squashed right in the center, but when you broaden it out, So whenever I'm doing this, I usually close my eyes and let my ears do the work for me. So I'm going to close my eyes. You won't be seeing it, obviously, but I'm going to just adjust this to how I hear it through my headphones. So here we go.
In a Taco Bell drive-through party. Party. Drive-through party. Party. Taco Bell.
Okay, right there. So what is that? 13 plus 13 on the high band stereo imaging. Let's just, for giggles, try the low band, see how it sounds.
Party. Party. Drive-through Taco Bell. Party. Dudes were break dancing on the hoods of their cars.
Yeah, I think the original right there, it kind of does flare out stereophonically anyways. Right there, as you see the red lines, it kind of branches out a bit. So I think that's about right. Or maybe we could turn it negative a little bit. So this high band has more room to breathe, and the low band doesn't drown out all the dynamic stuff happening. All right, compression. Fairly simple. You just got to know what knobs do what. So the input gain is basically your volume knob, all right? The threshold is what you will be working with the most. The ratio, you kind of mess with that a little bit. I never really do too much with this soft and E. And over here, I hardly ever touch. That's if you're really wanting to do stuff. This output gain, I never touch because that is just like maximum overload. If you just want to blast your track into oblivion volume-wise, you use that. But let's work with the compressor here now. See right there, it gets very loud. Now you turn that up and be like, man, that sounds so cool. It's so loud and boomy. But it's gonna sound like absolute crap through anything. Like, you're gonna be impressed because it just sounds so loud. Don't let loudness be the factor in thinking if the track sounds good or not, because it doesn't. It really doesn't. So what you will look for here on this meter, and you see this, and you're like, what? Why am I even looking at this? Don't let anything go lower than a -4. Kind of keep it just mostly on the 0 lit up, and it may flirt with the first 2 bars here, but never anything past here. You don't want to do that because it's just too much. So as you see right there, that's too much. I always have the input gain up a bit, and then I use the threshold to bring this down, so it kind of messes with it a little bit.
Dudes were break dancing on the hoods of their cars. Burritos in the
So if you like this and you're like, all right, that's where I want it, use the threshold to control the rest of this.
Moving their arms. Chicks were twerking.
There you go.
Shaking that.
So yeah, just basically have that one full-fledged happening,
Crazy,
and then this one just
beating up.
flickering, flirting with it a little bit, and then you'll know that you made it where it needs to be. Because the last thing you need to do or want to do is
Crunch rap supreme.
have the compression on it so much that the track sounds like it is just sucking. It's like, you don't want that. That's a no-no. That's a bad thing.
I got my go-to, a Mexican pizza, cheesy potatoes. It was a fiesta.
Because I hear it in my head here, in my headphones, that it is doing that a little bit.
My old girl, she knows what I like.
But I'll touch it up
Sin up under
just enough so it touches that -4, that second bar.
lights, we party all
There we go.
night. My chick is
Alright, my chick has got a soft taco supreme. Haha. Funny joke. Funny joke, bro. Anyways, here we are with the final thing we are touching, at least in this rack. We got one more secret ingredient that I think Reason only has. I'm sure other DAWs have their own version, but anyways, we will get to that right after this maximizer. And the maximizer is exactly that. It maximizes the sound all over. So you will use this bar right here. You don't want it to get into the red. You want to get it to just right there. So that will let you know that the song is maximized to its full volume without it cracking or peaking or just really messing up the listener's enjoyment of your composition, your song, your dream. You will usually be using the input gain more than the output gain. So I'll show you exactly how I'd work this here.
Got a soft taco supreme. My chick has got a soft taco supreme.
All right, so it seems like the more I've turned up the input gain,
My chick has got
it needs a bit more output. So bring that up maybe. You don't want to do too much on this output.
a soft taco
As you see right there, it really brought it over. So now
supreme.
we could turn the input down a bit.
Extra sour cream. It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru.
All right, so that's cool. So whenever you are touching all this stuff up, it's good to listen to different parts of the song because obviously there are going to be parts of the song that are quieter, like right here, and then we get to the chorus where it's the loudest. So usually you will want to mix and master and check all the levels during the loudest parts of your song. But it's good to give it a nice overview regardless, because maybe some parts of the song that are quiet may be too quiet, and you may need to bring that up.
Sour cream. It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru.
We'll just keep it right there. Safe, nice little touch. So like I said, more input gain than output gain when it comes to the maximizer. All right, so congratulations. We are done with all the goodies that we added to this track. And now for the final thing that we are going to do, the finishing touch of the finishing touch, that is the mastering session, is this, the compressor, which it was on. I don't know why that was on the whole time we were doing this. So there we go there. You will turn on the master compressor. So I guess it's kind of good we were mastering this whole time with this on, but I'm going to show you how you should have it regardless. How you control the threshold. Just watch this needle, and you won't want it to get past 4, and definitely not past 8. So if it goes a little bit over the 4 there, it's fine. But usually, rule of thumb, don't let this needle go over the 4, past it.
Taco Bell party. Drive-thru Taco Bell.
Alright, that sounds about right. And then this makeup part, I have it all the way down. I'm going to show you exactly what makeup does to it.
It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. There's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru.
So it's very boomy. You don't want to put too much on it though, because like I said, this is a compressor. The compression is going to make everything sound sucky if you have it up too much. So you just gotta season it right. You put too much seasoning into a chicken or whatever, everything's just gonna be salty and it's gonna be unedible. So you gotta have that right amount before going overboard.
Party, drive-thru party, Taco Bell party, drive-thru Taco Bell party.
Okay, so we basically have that where I want it negative 20.55 on the threshold, 4 out of 1 master compression ratio, makeup 3.82 decibels, automatic on the release, and a 10 on the attack. I really don't mess with the attack or this too much unless I really have a huge issue with compressing something, but this doesn't seem to be too bad. All right, so the final thing is we will listen to this song, and as we listen to this song, we will mess with this fader right here and get it to the point to where it gets to the 0 without these lights right here hitting red. And that lets you know we have the song at its full capacity, volume-wise, dynamic-wise, everything-wise, before we release it to Spotify and we get 1 million hits and become stars, and we are touring and opening up for Metallica. All right, so it all starts right here, so let's go. And definitely as well, we will be just looping over the loudest part of the song so we know we're not peaking even at the song's loudest. So what we will do is bring the L flag right there, the right flag right there, and this is determining the section where we will be looping, and it will play over and over. How you loop something, you go down here and hit this little recycle button, highlight that, click it, whatever, and
It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. It's a party in a Taco Bell drive-thru. It's a
okay, so we basically are at the right there button, or almost at the 0. Hit and miss, touch and go. So, yeah, there you go. The song is done, ready to be mixed down. I will show you that. Let's do it. So we'll use Music Sessions 2023, even though it's 2024. That's just how us musicians save things. It's just whatever, just splatter it somewhere. So we'll label this Party in a Taco Bell drive-thru master session. Use this for distribution. All in caps. So there is no messing around. It's foolproof. Let's export this song now. 44,116 bits. Sure, whatever. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you master a song in Reason or in any kind of DAW. Just kind of mess with it. Like I said, probably every DAW has its own little thing, but they're all similar. All right, guys, I'm DJ Glowing Ice. Peace out.